Sholem is a community that celebrates the cultural and historical aspects of being Jewish without necessarily incorporating the worship or the religious aspects of being Jewish.
Tell a stranger who knows nothing about Sholem.
It started in the late 50s, early 60s among people, progressive Jews here, caught up in social movements and the Red Scare, people who were blacklisted in the Hollywood community for their political identification, political activities, and needed a place to congregate.
They named it Sholem, the Yiddish word for peace, which indicated that it was a secular Jewish school that placed great emphasis on the heritage of Yiddish-speaking people in Eastern Europe.
Being a secular Jew is like being a Jew culturally, but not like religiously. Like personally, like I don't believe in God, but I'm still Jewish, so I think that makes me a secular Jew.
Being Jewish is having a community that has the same values as you, and like coming here every Sunday, you feel like you belong here.
What does Sholem mean to you?
That's a good question. Over the years, Sholem became, for me, a community where I could develop friendships and connections and a network of people with shared values and ideas.
I think that having a community and a sense of identity is important for all of us. To find an organization that provides identity and community for people with common values and common purpose is extremely valuable. I mean, when people come to Sholem, they come because they're looking generally, not so much for something for themselves, but they're looking for something for their kids. When you get kids and you try to figure out, okay, now what are we going to teach them about values, and about who they are, and about what we believe, and about how we'd like to see them grow up. Having an organization like Sholem, where it's not just something that's coming from the parents, but where the kids can identify with each other, and where the messages of the parents can be reinforced in an organizational way, is extremely helpful.
My approach to Yiddish in a secular Sunday school has always been that what is important that the young people get the taste of Yiddish into the children's mouths and the sound of it into their ears. And the way I felt, and still do, the way to achieve that is in the music program.
My goal in doing the klezmer program is to introduce kids to a kind of music that's part of their heritage.
So this is a Yiddish horror, and there's a krechsen, remember? So krechsen it means crack, so.
To me, being a secular Jew means you follow the more cultural values rather than religious values of a Jew. So you learn and observe the Jewish holidays, but not because you're being forced to, because you want to, and you learn the meaning of the holidays.
And it was in the days of old King Achashverosh, thousands of years ago.
It has a wicked villain.
Hey, man.
The story
story says that Esther was beautiful and Mordecai was wise. But maybe it was the other way around. Or maybe both of them were beautiful and wise.
The Jewish people have been doing those same exact holidays for like thousands and thousands of years. So it's like we're connecting to our Jewish ancestors by practicing those same holidays. This is one thing that I know I'm going to do every single year with the same people. We all share the same Jewishness to share that holiday together.
Our holiday celebrations are drawn from tradition, but non-religious. We look at some of the backgrounds of the holidays, which often have their origins in nature or historic events, and try to make them relevant in a secular, progressive way to the present day.
Exposes you to your religion without making you religious, so it's secular, and you can do whatever you want. And like I said before, be yourself because it's not religious, so you don't have to like worship anyone.
One of our students, Joel, wrote a really nice poem that he'll share with the community.
Sholem, secular Judaism, how fun Sholem is, offers a lot, love it, enjoyable on so many levels, a monster amount of interesting and fun.
Why did you choose Sholem?
Well, I want my kids to experience Judaism, but not necessarily in a religious way. Because if they want to choose it later in life, that's fine. I love that. But I don't want them to associate that the whole thing. One of the things that I love about Sholem is that there is great emphasis on Yiddish, not only Hebrew. So there is a lot of attention that is given to our cultural heritage. I love that, and this is something that actually keeps them in touch with where they came from.
We learned about the diaspora in the Jewish history. The teachers they're great. They're more interactive with you. For an example is that my teacher, Catherine, she uses a lot of irony in how she teaches, and she also does plays and all that. And I really like that.
I started teaching the Vav class, which is the post-bar bat mitzvah class, and when the kids finish their bar bat mitzvah after 8th grade, they decide whether they want to continue. And my goal in Vav is to actually have a class that these kids want to go to, and I think I've kind of extended that to after they finish Vav, after their freshman year, they come back as Belfer, as classroom helpers and helpers for the community.
So what is the role of a Belfer?
Well, Belfers at Sholem are basically helpers that step in different ways around the school, and there's Belfers that help in the classroom working as kind of assistant teachers, and then there's also Belfers who help with the food and just other things to help keep everything running. And it's a nice way to continue giving back to the community. I've been here since 2nd grade, I think, and it's just really nice to be able to continue with the same people and grow up with them, and it gives you a strong sense of identity and community.
Sholem is your place, Sholem is my place. On Sunday morning, you can see a friendly face. Manhattan Beach to Pasadena. Sholem is here for you and me.
So what do you teach in the Hay class?
Well, in the Hay class, we focus on 20th century Jewish history and culture. So we start with large waves of immigrants coming to the United States, and then we move on into political organizing, labor unions, and also we talk about current events. For instance, when Howard Zinn died, we did a full day about his legacy and what he meant as a secular Jew. And also the students are preparing for their bar and bas mitzvahs, which they do with Herschel Hartman.
The bar and bas mitzvah process. We provide the bar and bas mitzvah ceremony that is a coming-of-age ritual. But unlike synagogues, we don't ask kids to read by rote from the Torah. We respect the Torah as a piece of literature, but we also want to encourage thinking in the kids who go through the process. So we ask them to present something of interest to them that deals with their Jewish identity and their sense of Jewishness.
The two Judys would like to thank the Sholem community for giving us a home where we can celebrate a bar and bas mitzvah in the way that truly has meaning for our families.
To our family and friends who may be unfamiliar with our particular brand of Jewishness, we invite you to share in our celebration of what it means to be a secular Jew.
What does it mean to be Jewish? This was a question that I was so often asked by my parents, Wegweiser, and all the other people involved with my bat mitzvah project. When I first started my project, I didn't really know the meaning of being a Jew.
To me, it means that I have the history of the Jews, their persecution, all of their accomplishments in me.
As far as their religious convictions, I never really felt them or had them. So making the transition to a Sholem was not that difficult. Even though I enjoyed the ritual and some of the tradition and the songs, and I loved singing, it wasn't difficult to put aside some of the religious ritual and practice that I never really understood or identified with anyway.
So many good things have come out of being a part of this community for me. You know, it's part of like why I could never imagine leaving Los Angeles. Maybe one day we will, but right now the thought of doing that would be like, well, no, I couldn't leave Sholem. And my brother says to me, well, just start a Sholem somewhere else. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's not like a Sholem, it's the Sholem. And there's nothing like it anywhere else.